Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today in Cyberpunk 2077 news we have a lot to cover, going from performance of the game on both console and PC, then analytics included in the sales because Cyberpunk had a whopping 8 million pre-orders, which is an insane number, so let's get into it. So, Cyberpunk 2077 released yesterday worldwide for PC and consoles, or well, today for some people. During the launch hour, the game had over 1 million people just playing it on Steam, and as I said, in the total they had 8 million pre-orders, which was 59% on PC and 41% on consoles. And also, as Daniel Ahmad said, this was the biggest launch ever for PC version of a game, with 4.72 million people on that platform and 3.28 million on consoles. If you remember, just a few days back when Shadowlands came out, they had 3.7 million people, which was an insane number. So to see Cyberpunk going to this is absolutely crazy, but not a surprise considering the amount of hype behind the game over the course of the last 7 years? The game also exceeded 50 million in revenue on Steam in the past 2 weeks, which makes them eligible for 80% of royalties on the platform. Keep in mind, if you have between 10 million and 50 million Steam sales, they take 25%, and below those sales they take 30% from companies, so definitely having that 10% extra will do good for the company. Next up, let's talk about how the game performs on platforms it came out on. First off, I had a chance to play this game before release, and I can tell you straight away, the version of the game which came out, at least on the PC level, and obviously if you download the latest Nvidia driver or AMD driver, it runs much better than before. I was running this on i7-7700 and 1070 from Nvidia, so the gameplay you are looking at is recorded with this hardware on high settings in 1080p resolution. Meanwhile, on the console side, the base version of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are experiencing a lot of performance bugs and overall stability of the game. Now, CDPR said that they are committed to fixing the console versions as fast as they can in the latest updates. And I do believe when it comes to PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X or other versions that the game is running just fine, which is expected from the new consoles. And when we talk about the base versions of PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, yes, it's a very old console. Like, honestly, I'm still surprised how games run on that. But at the same time, CDPR did obviously state that the game is coming out for those platforms as well, so I do hope that in the future it gets fixed, but if we go back to The Witcher 3 days, it was definitely fixed and very fast. And when you look at the overall scope of the game, because this is truly a technological wonder from the city standpoint and when you look at the story and everything, but obviously there are performance issues which need to be addressed. But as I said, personally, it's good at the story side of the game, with the city and all activities are genuinely fun and work. I mean, stability can be fixed, but if the base game, if the overall game was bad, it would be a problem. So to only have performance issues is actually great, but yeah, not so great. Hopefully, again, it gets fixed soon. Now let's take a look at the Metacritic score itself. Generally, when it comes to critics, most of the reviews are positive. There are only 2 mixed ones, and overall, as of now, the game has a score of 91. We shall see what user reviews will look like once they become available on Metacritics. On the Steam side, so far, the game has mostly positive reviews. From 34,024 are positive, with 9,500 negative reviews, and most of them are complaining about the overall performance and frame rate of the game, and obviously some visual bugs that the game does have, because sometimes, as I did say in my review, visual bugs and glitches in general do happen. Personally, I didn't have my game crash, but I did hear that a lot of people did have their game crash a couple of times, but that's why it's important to actually update the latest Nvidia drivers. We also did have a really cool launch trailer for the game, when you add the new version of Never Fade Away from P.T. Adamczyk and Olga Jankowska. Definitely a must listen, and overall when it comes to the trailer so far, this is my favorite one. Besides that, we also got a secret message at the end of that trailer where CDPR is thanking people for buying the game, and also they're saying that the first free DLC is coming early 2021. Also, they did say that the expansions will be coming, and while they're not ready to talk about specifics yet, they mentioned that they learned a lot from Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine expansions in the past. And honestly, both of those expansions were amazing. Some even say that Blood and Wine was better than the base game story of The Witcher 3, but yeah, for me personally, both were amazing, but CDPR did improve a lot on the overall game and the formula they had when the second expansion came out, even when the first came out, but especially when Blood and Wine came out. Quests and overall pacing was done much better, and you can see that in Cyberpunk 2077 because obviously from the story standpoint and pacing standpoint the game is good. Now this was definitely a rocky start of the game, but look, nothing is perfect, and I talked about the release day a long time ago hoping that everything goes well. Majority of stuff is definitely good, which I'm glad. Obviously performance issues need to be fixed so that everyone can have at least a similar or equal experience of the game. Now obviously base versions of consoles can only run so far. You can't really do wonders with that hardware, but at least getting the game to normal frame rate and better stability is going to be nice, and as I said, CDPR already stated that they are working actively on it. And look, these are all the news we have for today. Please tell me down below what are your thoughts on the game. I want to hear what the community has to say. Also be careful of the spoilers in the comments. If you don't want to potentially have your game spoiled, please stay away from the comment section of videos, but at the same time, if you don't mind that, you can go and watch it. I'll be sure to hide and ban everyone who shares spoilers in the chat, so no worries. Also, when something new pops out in the future, I will definitely make a video on that, so smash that like and subscribe button for more Cyberpunk 2077 news, explainer and lore videos, because there is going to be a lot. Also, my first gameplay walkthrough is coming soon, and also don't forget to join our growing community on Twitter and Discord. I do also have a Patreon page. If you were looking for an extra way to support the channel, you can do it through the link below, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.